Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? Strange world. It's going, yeah, it's very bizarre at the moment, right? Um, Listen, I'm up nice and early, as you can hear, hopefully. The birds are whistling. It's a good time to work out. You can set yourself up for the day. So I want to do a little stretch video for you all because we should all stretch before we work out anyway. Generally, we should all stretch in the mornings and in the evenings anyway. It just set you up for the day. We go over a full body workout, right from the legs right up to the neck, and I'll show you some really cool stretches are absolute game changers. For one of the stretches, I like to use elevation. Any of my patients that's ever come to see me would normally use the couch as a tool to help us stretch, which I just find you get a much deeper stretch out of it. I think what we'll do, we'll crack on. So, like I say, everything in the body's linked. If one muscle's tight, it could potentially cause another muscle to be tight, and it can work all the way up the chain. So it's really important to work on the whole body. And if you've got a niggly side, if that's the right side, don't just work on the right side, work on both for balance. You will find you'll get some really good results just by stretching. Sounds too easy, right? But if the muscles are too tight, and what they can do is contort the joints and can compress the joints. So if you've got one muscle, say for instance, going from the glutes, the bottom, that muscle specifically might be going up to the lower back as well. So if that muscle's too tight, guess what we can do to the spine? Compress the spine. So let's start. We'll start with a calf stretch. So put your hands on the wall. Calf is this muscle here. And one leg straight at the back, one leg bent at the front. And all we're doing is bending that knee and that back leg, the back calf, the bottom muscle is getting stretched. And we want feet forward as well. If your feet are sideways, it's not going to work. So feet forward. I'm just getting a nice stretch on that. Just ease into it. Good, I feel like loosening off already. A bit more of a deeper stretch into that. Swap sides. Yeah, that side's very tight. So I've been, I love my work. Anyone that knows me knows that I love my work. I love my training, love my family, which is obviously, but because I've not been working, I've just been training loads. So my calves and hamstrings and pretty much every muscle in my body is really, really tight. So we get a nice stretch on that. Hamstrings specifically. Hamstrings, if you don't know, this one right at the back of the leg. That's the painful one. That's the one where the sciatic nerve is. That's why it's so painful. Okay. And then we're going to stretch those hamstrings like we said. So all we do is cross over legs, slowly stretch down. You'll feel that right on the back of the leg there. That's it, you've got it. People ask how long you should stretch. Well, the old school was 8 to 10 seconds, but the longer the stretch, the better really. Try not to palpate down or do any too big a movements, just nice and slowly, especially if you're stiff. And then all you do is cross over the other leg. Always have your legs straight. Yeah, I'm getting that on the glute as well, on the bottom, which is good. I know that's tight. You're also getting some back stretch, upper back stretch here, some thoracic stretch, some lower back stretch. I am. Okay, so that's the calf and the hamstring. Let's work on the quad. Nice little stretch. I mean, you can do this two ways. You can do this multiple ways, to be fair. Have this band, that would work. I have this bench, if you can see it. Can you see the bench? Yeah, you can see the bench. Or you could hold on to the wall, grab the leg, and just stretch that. I feel that all the way down there. So I'll show you a couple of other options. You can get a chair or a bench, put it right on the end of your foot, just drop. It's nice. With this bench, yeah, I could probably put it in this band as well, to be fair. So let's stretch those quads out. You get a nice little pull on it. I know my face isn't in the picture at the moment, but so the good thing about exercise and stretching is it's free. You can just do it yourself. And once you know those stretches, you have it for the rest of your life. So it's a fantastic tool to know. I'm gonna do this side. And if you want to be really cheeky, work on your balance. My balance doesn't look that good right now, but to be fair, I've just woken up. That's it. Stretch that quad out. Good. Shake it off. Right. The next one, we want to work on the groin. Okay. So how we're going to do that? The lunge. So both feet forward. That's it. I mean, you could put the back leg ever so slightly left or right, however it goes. You should feel that right in the groin there. So there's a muscle right on the groin. It's called the psoas, and that ties up to the spine. So if that's too tight, you may get groin pain, lower back pain, tightness. Yeah, that's good. That's good. And slowly come out of the stretch. Don't go too crazy into it. Just slowly ease into it. If you've got any rings like this, you could take the pressure off. If you've got a wall to stabilise yourself on the wall. You could do this on the floor, you could do it on a chair. You could do it anywhere. If your balance isn't the best, make sure you have a wall next to you, or you can even have someone assisting you. So that's good, that's the groin. This next one is a game changer for most people. It's one I use loads in my clinic. And it's going to target the glutes, which is the bottom, but you do get a massive stretch. You get a little bit on the hamstrings, you get some on the groins, massive hip flexor stretch. It depends how you go. Feel the stretch yourself, find out where it hits you. You might do it and be like, no, I can't feel it. So just feel the stretch yourself. Go try different positions, different sides, and you should get a massive stretch here. Most people, when they first come on, because I do it on a couch elevated, most people when I first get them on the couch, they're like, whoa, and it hits them straight away. But within 2 minutes, we can get your chest right down, okay? So I'm gonna show you how to do this. So this is called the pigeon pose. It's a yoga pose, but I like to do it elevated. I just find you get a much better stretch out of it. But you'll feel it here, here, maybe a little bit around here, okay? So, we put off our leg at 90 degree on the bench. You don't want to be sat on your bum, you want to be sat on your hamstring. If I turn it this way. You see that back leg? How that back leg's kicked up. Okay? And then the knee that's down or the leg that's down, the game plan is eventually we want to be coming over that knee, bring the chest down. But to start with, we're just going to be sitting here, feel the stretch, and then we're going to go all the way down in front. Yeah, I feel that big time. And again, this is one you want to hold for like 30 seconds at a time if you can. It's awful. It is when you're not very flexible. It's an awful stretch, but you will get better at it, and you'll start filing that sciatica. I'm not saying you'll completely get rid of the sciatica, but you'll completely decrease that sciatica because the pressure's been taking off the joint up there. Okay, so it's the same thing. If the muscles are too tight, they put pressure on joints above. So here's how I like to do it. I like to go forward, maybe 30 seconds, then come over the knee. And I've got my chest right down. That's the game plan. Chest all the way down. Use your breathing to help you. So breathe in, breathe all the way out, chest down. And I even rotate it a little bit more just to hit every point of that glute muscle. Yeah? Okay. And let's do this side. You see that? So I'm not sat with my bum on the bench, I'm sat with, that's it, I'm getting a nice stretch, especially on that, I'm getting a nice stretch on that quad at the back there. Nice stretch on that. You really want to feel that stretch, you really want to be in that stretch, and you're not thinking about anything, you're not thinking about coronavirus, you're not thinking about your kids, you're not thinking about, all you're thinking about is, oh my God, the stretch is absolutely killing me. Okay? If it's too much, come out of it. For me, I like to push it, but a lot of people will be following the channel will be in severe pain, so just take your time, go easy, okay? Be sensible. And it is hard to know how much to push a stretch. So now I'm going to come all the way down. And across, over the knee. And around a bit more. And then every part of that glute. That's it, just shake it off. So, every morning I wake up anyway, and I do a few little stretches, and I get lots of pops and lots of clicks, and that's just the joints opening up. My go-to one that I go to straight away, I go back, is a simple side stretch. And I can find, it's called the QR, just here. And you've got your oblique muscles coming down here, so we're getting a stretch on all of that. So like I say, I've already adjusted this lower lumbar area. So you see how I like to alternate all these, like almost like a windscreen wiper. Come over, I sort of palpate here. Yeah, see, I'm getting lots of clicks and cracks here, which is awesome. One more. That's good. So that for me, specifically for me, I've always had lower back pain. Everything I've ever done has been centered on that lower back, bending over, heavy weights, this, that and the other. So that stretch right there, especially after the pigeon pose, is amazing, because the pigeon pose just seems to open up all those muscles, which allows those joints to open up a little bit easier. If I went straight to certain stretches before the pigeon pose, I find it a lot more difficult because the pigeon pose is we're doing a long stretch. It slowly opens up multiple muscles. Okay, so I'm sure I'm missing a few things, but anyway, we're going to work on the shoulder complex, the pec complex, the upper thoracic complex, okay? Now, so a lot of my patients come in and they're very kyphotic, the shoulders are rounded forward. It doesn't help that the pec muscles here are really, really tight, and it gets to the point where they're so tight that they're keeping the shoulder rolled forward. Other problems become as your side bending, your lats are too tight and your triceps are too tight. That can create a problem for the shoulder complex. So if we've got the shoulder too far forward, the pecs are not ever getting stretched. So that's keeping that shoulder, that AC joint, anterior, which means it's being pulled forward, which is then putting pressure on the nerve, which is really, really uncomfortable. That's when you might start finding a ping. Obviously, there are lots of reasons why you can have a rotator cuff issue, but this is a really, really common one. Just having seriously tight muscles. Or say, for instance, you did get an injury in the shoulder, so ow, that's where it hurts. Guess what you stop doing? You stop taking that shoulder up, which means you stop stretching the triceps, stop stretching the lat muscle here, so that gets too tight. So that almost creates a problem itself. Muscle tightness, or muscles end up pulling. So we're talking about shoulders becoming forward, rounded, tight, subscap becomes too tight. So everything is pulling, and then that's when what I see with the frozen shoulder, you just can't get it up. It's just too painful to get it up. And a lot of that is just the muscles are just way too tight. Again, it's probably occurred from your primary injury, but look, every time you bring it up, you're stretching the muscle. If you've injured it, you stop stretching the muscle because it's too painful to come up. Also, the trapezius muscle, which goes from the neck here right down the back, if that becomes too tight, that can create a problem with shoulders as well. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to stretch the pec minor, the pec major, the lat, the tricep. We're going to get some delt, which is the shoulder, some delt stretch, and some trapezius, some trap stretch. We're going to get some, I'm not going to go over too many of the neck muscles because loads of them. We're going to go over stretching some of the scalenes. Just get a lovely stretch on all of that as well, okay? So, here's what I like to do. Start with the pec, start with the side of the pec, putting your hand like that on the wall. Get yourself in a position where it's kind of locked in, and all you're doing is rotating that way. And I can feel a pull on the shoulder. I can feel a pull on the pec. So these are the ones that you really want to be going after. Come back, come out that stretch. Hit it again. Just be careful. Nice straight arm. So all we're trying to do is open up this front area, the pec area, to give that thoracics some breathing space. So we go back to that. That's it. And then I'll show you with a band. So that there. So here's with a band. Just rotating. Yeah, that's nice. That's actually nicer. You see that? So we have a purple thick gym band, like a big elastic band that's hanging down from my rings out there. And all we're doing, if you have a look, just a stretch those pec muscles. I've got a little bit of tricep stretch as well there. I'm going to go back. See, if the shoulder is the problem for you, hit this or hit these group of stretches multiple times. So I'll get a nice delt stretch as well there. Delt is your shoulder. Well, there's multiple groups on the delt, but I'm definitely hitting an anterior stretch. That's good. So you can shake that off. I'll use this again to show you a lat stretch. Oh, that's nice. And I'm getting a nice pinch in that shoulder joint there. That's where those muscles are getting stretched. Yeah. Nice straight arm forward. You're getting some pec, and I'll tell you what, I'm getting some pec, and I'm getting some, I'm getting pec and lat here, so just lean up to my side slightly because we want this muscle. Okay, so just lean slightly to your side. That's good. Yeah, that can be quite uncomfortable, but then obviously, like any stretch, the more you do it, the more your body will adapt to it. It's just hit it a couple of times, not 3 times a day. You've got loads of time. Every now and again you'll be walking, I don't know, you can do it in the door as well. I show a lot of patients the door and the wall. You can just walk through your house and just have a stretch against the wall. So if you haven't got a band, use a wall. Straight arm, lean to your side, I get your latimus dorsi. And hit back this side again. So to my patients or my Facebook followers that train a lot, the more you stretch, you'll start hitting PBs, you'll start getting your personal bests. A nice flexible muscle, it's very powerful. Okay, so that's the lat done. We have got some tricep on there, so that's fine, don't worry about that too much. We can get there in other ways, but that's okay. Then let's get the posterior of the shoulder. We will get a little bit of tricep here. So all we're doing is pulling that arm across, lock that in behind the elbow, pull it across. Okay. So again, and there are multiple stretches you can do for these muscles, for multiple muscles. So there's no wrong or right answer. If you find another stretch that suits you better, do it. So that's nice. Okay. And let's work on, we can get some, work on these neck muscles, okay? So slowly come over, slowly back, slowly come over, slowly back, come over. So we're just encouraging movement. Bring that arm over the top, and then get a nice side bend on it. I just find you get a little bit more weight on the head just to have it come off. You'll feel all these neck muscles stretch, even down into the your collarbone here. Slowly, always slowly with the neck, okay? So if you listen, might even get a neck adjustment here. Right, so we're just going to come over. Okay, so do those as long as you need. Just remember that they're really small muscles, so take your time. Don't rush those, okay? Let's do a bit of rotation with the head. Forward. Forward. You might hear a little bit of cracking. Mine's like popping candy, so when I move it, it's almost like crack, little multiple cracks. And that's probably a bit of arthritis, something rubbing possibly. So, okay, and what I do, encourage a stretch. Okay. I would show you a bit of foam rollering, but I've left at the clinic. But what you can do is we can find anything that's similar to do some do some thoracic extensions. So all a thoracic extension is, this is your thoracics, and it's just trying to create a curve in the back to open up the joints. So potentially we could use this bench. Here we go. And also, not even just trying to create the joints opening, we're also getting a massive stretch all on this front section here as well, okay? So I always like to breathe in, and as you're doing the stretch, breathe all the way out. Otherwise it acts like an airbag and it almost protects you and guards the area. So big breath in, all the way out. Go really easy with this one. If you do have a foam roller, a lot of people find them really uncomfortable, especially if you've got painful thoracics, and that's generally why you come to me anyway. Put a pillow on there. You can use arm of the sofa. Be creative, but be careful, okay? I always say start at the bottom of the shoulder blades. You don't need to come down that much further, okay? But don't go above, don't come on the neck, because it'll put a lot of pressure on the neck, and you'll really need to see me then. And obviously, the way it is at the moment with the corona, we're on lockdown. So, bottom of the shoulder blades, okay? So find what you want first. Big breath in. Yeah, that was perfect. That was really good. I'm right at the bottom of the shoulder blades, and all I heard was click, 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 click. Literally the whole of my thoracics went in. Big breath in. And again, I would probably just stay in one area if it was me. With the foam roller, a lot of patients, it's funny because I've done videos, but a lot of patients say, I know I've done it how you said to do it. I've rolled the area. I'm like, no, don't roll the area. That's different. That's more of a muscular. We're working on the joints, especially with the foam roll and back extensions. Okay, we just want to open up those joints and stretch this whole front system. Okay, you could even do this, which would be quite nice actually. Big breath in, hold your arms out. Don't forget to lock your legs in. Big breath in. Nice. You might even get a little sternum cavitation or a little sternum pop, possibly. Some of your ribs here. If that was nice. You don't need a foam roller. If you've got something, you just make use of it. What other things do people use? Like I say, arm of the sofa. It's just easy. Remember the pigeon pose we talked about? So the pigeon pose was the one leg on here, back leg out. I've had patients tell me they've done it on the sofa, they've done it on the chairs, they've done it on stairs, honestly, on the bed. There's no excuse for that one. That is, if you could just do that for the rest of your life, your body would be in so much better shape. And like you say, you know, you could do it on the floor. I could show you how to do it I'll show you how to do it on the floor. But you will find that you'll get a better stretch elevated. So let me show you on the floor. Hopefully you can see me. Cool. Pretty sure we've covered most muscles. Anyway, I'm gonna go for a workout. Get after it today, people. Okay, if you're feeling in pain, more than welcome to pop me a message and we'll see if I can help. Remember that ice is fantastic. Ice is really good as a painkiller. It brings down inflammation. A lot of the reason we're in pain is down to inflammation. Not all, but it's a bigger factor. Keep your stretches going. Keep your movement going. Keep icing. Don't put the ice on for too long. That can create a problem in itself. Loads of water, loads of inflammatory foods, or anti-inflammatory foods. I use apple cider vinegar. I take turmeric and cumin. Loads of food. You can Google it. Maybe we'll go over that at some point. But try and bring down your alcohol consumption, your sugar consumption. Anything that can help. Okay. I've eaten a load of rubbish before, and I woke up the next day and I felt like absolute rubbish, like lower back pain, absolutely horrendous. It's a factor. It's a known fact that food can create inflammation. What does inflammation do? Create pain. Okay, so if you've got fibromyalgia, first thing I'd be doing is starting on my diet. Like, just make sure you're eating whole foods. So I wouldn't cut everything out to start with. I would, and there are all sorts of tests you can do as well. You can do allergy tests, food intolerance tests. So if I had fibromyalgia or any kind of disease, which I'm fortunate I don't, diet would be my first thing. So I'd be eating whole foods. What does that mean? It would be eating your greens, your vegetables, your fruits, your nuts, your fish, your meats. If you could eat grass-fed meats, that's better, more expensive, but listen, if you want to get better, you can even look into, if that's, give that 6 months. If that doesn't help and you're still getting these problems, what is it? Start cutting things out. Start cutting your breads out. Start cutting your cereals out. Start cutting your pastas out. And if that doesn't work, then there are other things you can do, but just be smart about it. If you're drinking 6 litres of Coca-Cola every day, it's, common sense tells me that there's going to be a problem, okay? Fizzy drinks is number one. Cut fizzy drinks out. It's absolutely terrible. Well, listen, I'm going to go and have a workout now. I hope that was informative. If it was, give us a thumbs up. Have an amazing day. If you'd like more videos, pop us a little comment, and we'll go from there and see if we can all get a little bit better, a little bit healthier. All right, guys, see you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.